I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Ryan.
Yes, I would move that when we adjourn tonight, we do so in memory and honor of Gloria Timer.
Second. All those in favor?
I just want that Roy was a lifelong resident of the town, graduate of the high school, former selectman, former state representative, former Lincoln County treasurer, and I'm sure a whole bunch of things that I can't remember. He was part of the greatest generation. He was one of the best of them.
He was a gentleman. When you say gentleman, he was a gentleman.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ken. And our condolences go out to his family.
Okay. If you don't mind, Madam Chair,
Yes.
we've been here a lot and we're coming here again tomorrow night, so with your permission and the board's permission, I'd like to move it along pretty quickly, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
Okay. Item number 2, approval of the treasurer's warrants, not prepared, but we'll be having those selectmen's meeting tomorrow, so I expect the board will address it then.
Okay.
Accounts payable warrants, you should have them. You got them right there?
Yeah, we signed two.
Oh, you signed this up, okay.
Yeah.
I'll move the accounts payable warrants for March 26th and April 2nd.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Thank you. Approval of the minutes, item number 3 of March 19. Motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 19th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor? Item number 4, special presentation or award. We have none. We have none at this meeting. 5 committee appointments. Terry Heller for the appearance of the town committee. And do you want to go over that first?
We'll do them both at the same time.
Okay. And Stephen Wallace, planning board. So the motion would be to appoint Terry Heller to the appearance of the town committee and Stephen Wallace to the planning board.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, public hearings.
I'll move to go into public hearing. You want to do them both at the same time?
Yes.
Can we do both at the same time?
It'd be best, it would be best to keep them separate.
All right.
This shouldn't take very long.
I'll move to go into the public hearing for a liquor license for Kelly Cody for the Lighthouse Lobster Shack.
Second.
Does anyone have any questions
Well,
regarding it?
we have voted motion to go into public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Oh.
Okay. I don't believe there's any objection from anyone, from anyone. The application this year has been accepted, and usually, let's see, they've got a diagram as required of the premises and the division of alcohol, beverages, and lottery operations. Has signed off on this on March 9th, actually, a year ago. Oh, all right. And no notes from the police department. So, having said that, please.
Nobody's said anything. We need a motion to accept?
We need a motion to come out of
Of public
Oh,
hearing.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Actually, John kind of alluded to it. It's a liquor license, but is this also considered a new business?
Same business, but new tenant doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's Miss Wiscasset Diner. I mean, it's, how many years it's been there? We have a new person owning it. Yes,
If you have any questions, I can answer those. I'm from the Wiscasset Diner. I own the Wiscasset.
Well, that isn't my question. No. My question is with how the town does things. Later on the agenda, we have a business license for a new business, which is a home occupation, which is fairly passive. And it has been signed off by the code enforcement officer, the Wiscasset Police, the planning board, and the fire department. We have 2 new liquor licenses here, and nobody signed off on any of them. If anything, it seems to me it ought to be the other way around.
Well, you do require a business license to operate in the town. That definitely is the case. So if you could prove to be subject to business license.
I'm just suggesting that maybe what we do for the new businesses, we should be doing to these. I consider these new businesses. They're maybe established buildings, but it's brand new businesses and owners in that sense. It just seems to me that this should have been checked off by the various departments.
Catherine, did you have something?
No.
So if I understand you correctly, Ms. Cody, you have just recently acquired this property?
No, we've been there since November of 2014.
Oh,
We're just now applying for the liquor license.
okay. First time application for that.
And the business name has not changed. It's still Wiscasset Diner.
Right, we operated the Lighthouse, we're incorporated under the Lighthouse Lobster Shack doing business as. We at one time had, in the summer of 2014, we had the Lighthouse Lobster Shack where Judy's is.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a liquor, or a beer and wine license there. And we didn't transfer it to the Wiscasset Diner,
Okay,
which we took over in 2014.
okay, thank you. Anything else, Ben?
No,
Can we have a motion? Oh, to come
we
out.
come out of the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor? Do we have a motion regarding this?
I'll move to approve this liquor license.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you.
I'll move to go into a public hearing for the purpose of hearing a liquor license for the
Colburn.
Water Street Kitchen and Bar. We'll see it on that.
By the way, Ms. Cody's father used to cut my hair.
Oh, really? Nice. Thank you for
Right by the
sharing that.
footbridge. Oh, yeah. See? I'm not saying it. I didn't need to.
I'll second your motion, Ben. All those in favor? Okay, we're in public hearing.
So the request is for Edward D. Colburn. Doing business at Water Street Kitchen and Bar located at 15 Water Street. He's looking for a liquor license. It's a new liquor license. And what I see for paperwork, well, actually, a lot of that. I would say that the application is not, the information isn't on the forms that I can see. There is a nice tag, but for the rest of it.
No.
I'm Ed Coleman. I do have a copy of it here for you guys. It should have been all.
It looks like building.
Yeah, we have the drawing, yeah.
I think those little check marks were so small I couldn't see.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
But you fill it
Yeah, I
on.
see them now, yeah, yeah.
No, you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Barely see what I'm talking about.
Year later, I only raised my same concerns as the first one. I think the other departments should be checking this stuff off. Other than that.
I agree with you on that. I think we do need, even though it's an established business, and if they are applying for a liquor license, we should have input from the police code enforcement.
This one actually is a new business. so-
Right.
I don't know why it isn't there, but it's not. So could always make a subject to.
I'm interfering, so I apologize. It's Father Ken. He did apply for a business license within the town of Wiscasset. He's done that application.
Yeah, but I'm talking about here, generally speaking, it has to be run, especially with liquor licenses, has to be run by the law enforcement community, and that's not there.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I have no problem with your application as you submitted it.
Okay.
None whatsoever. I was going to move to come out of the public hearing.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Move to grant a liquor license for Water Street Kitchen and Bar.
Second.
All All those in favor?
Madam Chair, would you like me to read your usual?
Go ahead.
This item number 7, public comment on non-agenda items. At each regular selectmen's meeting, there will be time devoted for any resident or taxpayer of the town of Wiscasset to address the selectmen regarding any item that is not on the agenda for that meeting. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. There will be a 30-minute maximum for this section. So, any member of the public, yes?
I'm Esther Danielson, I live on 4th Street. I'm here on behalf of the board of the main art gallery housed in the old academy at the corner of Hodge and Warren Streets. We'd like to thank the select board and the town for our use of this wonderful historic building, which the town has leased to us for 5 years for $1 a year. We've done our best to keep it looking neat and well maintained. We have painted most of the interior and taken care of it for 4 years. We thank the town for its quick installation of a new fire escape. Over the last several years, the art shows at the gallery have become more professional as we gain experience. Last summer was especially rewarding for us with high attendance and encouraging revenues. This year's program promises to be our best yet. As usual, the first show will feature the artwork of local students from Wiscasset Elementary School, Wiscasset Middle High School, the elementary school at Chilwaukee, and the Sheepscot Valley Children's House, as well as 5 other Lincoln County schools. The following show in June will be a members show. In July, a show of abstract work will fill the gallery, followed by a show of realistic art and photographs in August. Painters will take to the streets of Wiscasset for a plein air painting event in late August, and in September, 2 local photographers will show their work. The season closes with a fiber art exhibit in October. Please look for posters announcing these exhibits and other special events, or check our website and Facebook page. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Okay, move on. Item number 8, department head or committee chair. First is from Waterfront Committee, the request to revise mooring applications to require proof of insurance. And I would editorial comment, I would say that makes absolute sense, but that's the board with.
Grant.
I just have a quick question. What does it mean, include a towing endorsement?
Well, generally speaking, with an insurance policy, anything that isn't standard would be added on as an endorsement. Like you might be told, well, if you want the water ski, there'd be an endorsement would allow you to water ski with that particular boat, or whatever it might be. Like wearing glasses would be almost.
But I'm just wondering if it means if we were to remove that boat from the water, who's going to pay for the towing? Is that what this, it's going to be part of the insurance that they have towing coverage?
Towing as in when they break down, somebody has to tow them.
Okay. All right.
That's the only one that makes sense to me.
All right.
I'm not a boater, but that's.
I thought the idea behind this was to prevent what we have now, the boat that's in the bottom of the harbor, the guy can't afford to remove it. And we wanted to require insurance on people to cover that sort of incident.
That makes sense.
I'm not sure that towing endorsement would cover that. In fact, I'm not sure why that towing endorsement would matter. Our concern is, you know, the liability of the boat that's on the mooring. If it's on the go somewhere, it's not our issue.
Well, it might become the town's issue.
But if this
Before
guy,
floating in the river.
if the guy that, on the boat's out there right now, if he had insurance, then he could have gone to his insurance company if he had refuge or whatever they call it, salvage, to be able to bring that boat up. I think that's what this is stopping.
I think it is too. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I don't think that towing endorsement would mean tow it from the bottom.
No, because if you break down out at sea, you call sea tow or one of those.
Yeah, and
That's a separate, whole different thing than your boat insurance.
see, I don't know why we would be concerned about that. Why would it matter to us?
Don't have a good answer. We could table it for the Waterfront Committee to come back at a subsequent meeting.
I want to know what they're asking for at this point. Because I think we need to be careful that we don't have another episode like we have out here, that if a boat has insurance, it has salvage insurance, that they can get somebody to haul it out, and it won't be the town's problem.
The manager can convey that to them.
Well, I could ask, since it was on the agenda, I could ask to the board to table it, subject to return from the waterfront committee. If
I'll
that's-
make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay. Bernice, would you like to present the next two things? One is actually kind of nice. Workers' comp audit gives us $10,156 refund. Sorry for taking the spotlight.
You go ahead.
Okay, and the next
He
one.
already took the thunder.
I know.
Okay, so that's good news. And how about the Maine municipal employment compensation?
We're insured through Maine Municipal for workers' comp as well as unemployment. And as of December 31st, 2018, we have $16,829.29 sitting in our bank in the event we have somebody become unemployed to cover their employment benefits. That stays with them. They don't send us that money back.
Oh, that's too bad.
Thank you, Bernice. Okay, next item is the unfinished business, the town clock maintenance agreement. That came up at the last meeting, and I didn't have good answers for the board at the time. But now, I've spoken to Mr. Putnam, I've spoken to Mr. Calhoun, who's the manager of the building, and we're meeting on Thursday morning at 10 o'clock at the site. And I'll have Ted in charge of the road crew, and Chris will be there along with Mr. Putnam and Mr. Calhoun, 10 o'clock in the morning. The other thing I found out was from Mr. Putnam that in those fancy windows, some of the glass is loose because of the putty and so on. Ted said he could probably take them out and fix them himself, as opposed to contacting a specialist who'd have to design and build a set of non-standard windows. So that's what we're looking at going forward. And then, having said all that, then I feel comfortable going ahead with the request for the maintenance of the clock itself. And you've got that right there.
Yeah.
So I would ask for the board to approve. I believe it's $950.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Well, the next item on the agenda, unfinished business. At the last meeting, the board requested that I speak to Mr. Carroll, who unexpectedly showed up here, which welcome, but we're still on a very short leash time-wise. So I spoke to him, and what was her name, Jemmer? Connie Jemmer. And they graciously agreed to take that letter that the board didn't want to have there anymore, so that is no longer on the site.
Good, thank you.
And there was no fuss. They actually did it when I was there up at CMP. There's a lot of additional information that they provided to me, and it was interesting. Now, my view is, and I probably the board would agree, that this is something that's mostly going to get handled in Augusta, and the idea of us taking a position one way or the other is, I won't say moot, but it doesn't make an awful lot of difference. And there's nothing, in my opinion, that specifically applies to Wiscasset that would require the board to be involved. Having said that, Mr. Carroll has spent plenty of time testifying in Augusta in front of various committees. In fact, I'm surprised you're here. And he offered to come meet with the board or any Wiscasset group in the next few weeks, maybe before the end of the month. And if that's an offer that people would like to take them up on, or if you'd like them to make some very short comments, I mean, it's up to the board.
Does anybody have anything? Ben? You?
Well, I differ with the manager. I would be happy if the board was to go on record as opposing this project. But I just want to point out, since the last time we met, it was pointed out that the governor was in favor of this project. And I did see on TV where her hometown had a town meeting and they voted to oppose it. So, I mean, I think it is important for the municipalities, if they wish to speak up, to in fact speak up. Seems to just keep coming back.
So I guess the question for the board would be, would you like a detailed update from Mr. Carroll at some point in the future, or would you suggest he finds a different location, maybe in the town of Wiscasset, for a non-selectman public meeting, or just leave it alone?
What's the board's pleasure?
I'm fine with that.
Just leaving it alone?
Me too.
I agree. If Mr. Carroll wants to go have a meeting at the high school or one of the schools and open it up to the public, you know, it's fine with me.
If that's the wish of the board, then that's the
Yes.
wish of the board. Well, nice to see you.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for coming.
thank you for coming. So that's the update. And if the board is satisfied with the information we've got, there's plenty on the websites, both sides. No worries, I'm sorry.
Maine Public has a website devoted to all this. It's got a ton of information all along with some maps and documents and speeches, and I spent a fair amount of time looking at all of that. So if anybody wanted more information, I think that's a good place to go, mainepublic.org.
All right. By the way, just for those who may have arrived late, including you,
Sorry.
no, that wasn't, my point was that we're having an executive session. Yeah, and the attorney that will be talking to us will be along sometime between 6:45 and 7 o'clock. And we said that we'd try and get within a timely manner.
Sounds
There's
good.
a need for an update, so just so you know.
Thank you.
That's okay. New business, item 10A, business license approval for Betsy Kyle, doing business as White Pine Home. Business license application, White Pine Home, Washington Street.
I love your signs. Oh, thank you. They're nice. I went on your website.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just looking at this application, as far as I can see.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the business license. I'm sorry.
Quick question, this sheet here is the sheet that you felt could have accompanied the other ones.
Yeah.
But I think this is really good, the code enforcement officers signed off on it, the Wiscasset police have signed off on it, and the fire department has signed off on it.
Mm.
It gives you a feeling that somebody's actually doing
And my feeling was getting a liquor license deserves the same treatment, that's all I'm
this.
saying.
No, I
I
agree.
agree with you on that.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second for a motion
Okay.
to approve it. and then we
My
can
only
discuss.
question, it says retail, but it doesn't say retailing what.
Antique and vintage furniture and home accessories.
Okay, very good.
All those in favor?
This is a seasonal event. It's a request of First Congregational Church and St. Philip's Church to use the town pier for the Easter sunrise service, which will be Sunday, April 21. And there's a letter from Reverend Josh Bitterling asking that request on behalf of the First Congregational Church and St. Philip's. 6 o'clock service. Service continues to draw members from both congregations as well as members of the wider community. Been doing this for a number of years. We look forward to continuing this tradition again this year. So this particular question is the board willing to?
So moved.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
All right. So next item would be item 10C, request of First Congregational Church for the use of the town common for their annual Summerfest event, which is effectively all day Saturday, July 27th. So they want exclusive use of the town common. The fair will take place from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturday, July 27th. They'll begin setting up early on Saturday morning and be cleaned up by 5 p.m. They also ask that the board allow them to close off the road between the courthouse and the church on Saturday, July 27th from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. And that's just a narrow it's barely 1 car away. And in the event that we are able to obtain a large donation for our silent auction, we are asking your permission to display the item on the town common along with our street sign from July the 4th to July the 27th. Okay. And all the people associated with the church appreciate many years that we've been able to hold Summerfest on the common. Look forward to another successful year. And as you know, all the proceeds are donated to local nonprofits to assist area residents. And it's signed by Beth Maxwell and Ed Field.
I'll move we grant the First Congregational Church the use of the town common on 27th July.
Second.
All those in favor?
And now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 municipal quit claim deeds for Carol Jones. Let's see, map R03 lot 054 003 001. Sam Patterson, map R07 lot 039 019. Gilbert H. Rhines, map R05, lot 051A2. Scott Connors, map R01, lot 035, C02. And Joseph Wade, map R05, 058. E. What does the on mean for this?
It's a mobile home on that.
Okay, gotcha. So the motion requested, and the board has gone through all this, these hearings and appropriate procedures. So the motion is to whether the board will grant the quitclaim deeds for Carol Jones, Sam Peterson, Gilbert Rhines, Scott Connors, and Joseph Wade.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Now, town manager's report. The MDOT proposed summer work schedule. You've probably all seen this by now. Right, the map with the, yeah, you've all seen that, some of the media has seen it too. And let's see where did I put it, DOT. And I've got a more detailed schedule, including a couple of pages of what he calls the kickoff agenda. I was at a meeting on Thursday, actually, after CMP. With the crew, the project leaders, and all the rest that are dealing with this. And I didn't get a chance to print this off, but there were representatives from CMP. Pike's superintendent was there, and Charter Communications is there, and Main Fiber is there. So the key stuff is high will start drainage on Sunday night, 3/31, which is a couple of days ago. And they're going to install a catch basin and so on and so forth. I can copy these 2 pages for anybody, send them to you. List of attendees at that meeting. And it's going to run basically the biggest time commitment is going to run from the middle of July, and then it gets a little intermittent in places, but I haven't got a location for each of these little bits, so they may be hopping back and forth depending on what they're doing. And I haven't had a chance to stop by to see them since they arrived here, but hoping maybe tomorrow morning I can do that. So anybody that wants any copies of this, I can forward the letters that came, or the notes that came from Robert Cluey, who works for Flying Fiber, who's the prime contractor on this whole thing. There were about 15, 20 people at the meeting. Yes.
I just have a question, down on line 38 where it says added Water Street work 10 days. Do you know, is that the parking lot work, or is that something else? Because I didn't see the Highway Garage parking lot on the list. I was just wondering if maybe that's it, added Water Street.
I don't know my numbers on the street. So I did get from their architect, I got a pretty picture. Does that help? Distract everybody?
No,
No, okay.
but thank you.
In the meeting that they had with Lincoln County,
I beg pardon?
in the meeting that they had with Lincoln County, the same people, a week ago, the actual paving of that parking lot is going to come somewhat later.
like in October.
I can't remember if I have it, they gave me a sheet, if I could scan it and send it to you, but, the reasoning was they wanted to get as much done on Main Street, and then, once they got all that taken care of, they would move on to the other.
That would make sense, you know, like 10 days on Water Street in September, but it doesn't say Hackett garage parking lot, so
Yeah,
we can wait and see.
I can get more detail.
More will be revealed.
What's that?
I said more will be revealed.
More will be revealed in time, indeed, indeed.
Yes.
Quick question. Could you send that out to everybody in the distribution?
Yeah, what distribution?
The minutes and all that?
Yeah, Mr. Fleury sent me, let's see, yeah, I think it's about 4 pages, show the attendees at the meeting, and that's somebody I was referring to. Yeah, I can get that.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that more detail will be showing up on a regular basis as they get more focused on one area or the other. Okay. Any more questions about that? There's a lot of information. I'm sure the papers will be covering it pretty carefully and thoroughly. After that, I'm looking at 11B, certificate of appropriateness, abutters notices for a project at Ancient Cemetery and 15 Water Street. So, according to the Historic Preservation Ordinance, the town of Wiscasset is required to send meeting notices to abutting property owners for certificates of appropriateness applicants. And we are given notice because the property is within 100 feet of the above location. So we're talking about replacing, I wouldn't bet. So that's just information. That's just information. And item number 11C, by now most people are aware that Lisa Thompson, who is director of Wiscasset Parks and Recreation, received the William V. Haskell Distinguished Professional of the Year Award winner. And there's a write-up about her accomplishments and so on and so forth. I can pass it on. Anybody has an extra one for the press?
Question, this meeting on the cemetery fence, I think somebody's going to represent the town and answer questions, so.
Yeah, Ted Snowden will be there, and Steve will be there. I can look at the date, I can do it.
Thursday. This is Thursday.
Tomorrow?
Yes, and April 4th. It's Thursday.
I guess my question really was, it says replace existing wood fence, but I thought in the discussion there that there might be some thought of replacing it with plastic. Is that going to be the?
I think that's the request.
Okay.
Going in front of the Historic Preservation Group, I am sure that's going to be a good discussion. Yeah. It doesn't really matter what my personal views are, but that's the process that they're required to go through. And so I can be there. Pretty sure. Any other? Oh, and obviously congratulations to Lisa for getting that award. Okay, next item on the agenda is 11D, updating on the budget schedule. We've pretty much gone through the budget along with the budget committee, and tomorrow night at I think it's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, there will be a selectmen meeting, and the budget hopefully will be approved at that point. I'm not sure when the budget committee will meet, whether they'll call for an extra meeting. I'm not sure, but we're scheduled for the regular meeting on the 8th. So, as you know, we have to have the board sign the warrant, the 8th at the latest. Because we've got to get it ready for the town clerk to get into the state, get everything printed. So, is that everybody's understanding about the next?
Yes.
All right. get rid of that.
I'm sorry, Judy?
Did I hear you say the board has to sign it by the 8th?
Ninth is the drop dead.
Okay, because we were meeting on the 8th, the budget committee.
That was my understanding from last night.
Right. So you don't sign it until those are included, correct?
Right. The only thing we're doing tomorrow night is a voting.
Voting, yes.
That's all we're doing.
But he just said, drop dead is the 8th. We have to
Well,
sign
no,
it.
I said the 8th drop dead is the 9th. It's only a day, but, I mean, we're running, pardon my fault,
Okay.
we're running a week
I
late.
just wanted to be sure we had time for our meeting.
So-
Thank you.
Yes, Bernice?
So does that mean the board's going to meet on the 9th to actually sign the warrants then?
Board's meeting tomorrow night, so I'm not sure what they'll think.
But they can't sign it until after the budget meeting is what Judy is saying.
Correct, we can't sign it.
We don't sign it until they're done.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we would have to meet on the 9th. When's,
Eighth is the ninth.
is a
Tuesday, 2 weeks, a week, right?
a week from tonight, yes.
Do we have to have a meeting to sign it, or can we just come and sign it on the
No,
9th?
we have to.
We have to have a meeting, and it has to be done in public, in a public selectmen's meeting.
It would be nice to have a minute or two to go over the whole thing, because there are other things on there, budget items.
Correct.
Can we do that tomorrow night?
Well, tomorrow night won't the entire package be ready? I mean,
Very, very
as far as
close.
capital and all that.
The capital,
I still haven't talked to the fire chief as far as what he was looking for dollar amounts. He gave us paperwork, but I couldn't make heads and tails out of what the dollar amounts that he was actually looking for.
but we did get his application. Are you talking about the capital or the operating?
Capital.
Capital.
But I don't understand how we can discuss capital until we've determined what we want to take from the reserve.
I agree.
Because depending on how much money of the $400 and some odd $1,000 that we already know, we've got what, 70,000 that's already committed. And that only leaves us a balance. Either you're going to take all that money and put it to lower the taxes, or we're gonna do a couple jobs. You can't do, and if you're gonna do paving, that's $200,000 right off the top. That's a decision the board has to make first before we can even think of doing a capital plan. That's my opinion.
No, I think you described it quite well.
And I think we need to decide, we need to determine whether are we going to do capital this year, yes or no?
Well, there's no money for it.
Not if you're gonna take it all, put it on taxes, except for what we've got committed.
Right.
I don't like the idea of taking money out of the fund balance, I do know that, I don't think that's a prudent thing to do.
Or we could take more out of this budget.
You could do that too. Yes, Bernice?
I know, Judy, you had mentioned the other night about maybe de-obligating the money that was sitting from the prior year's reserves.
Right.
That's about $157,000 that we, if the townsfolk vote on that, we could apply it to the taxes, which means that you wouldn't be taking the full amount of the reserves.
Okay.
That's another scenario, that we, so we would have some money if we use that $150,000 and used another 150 to reduce taxes, we'd still have some money in the capital.
Then I think we could do that.
That sounds
That
better.
sounds a lot better. Take 150, that 150, take the 150 from the reserve,
Plus the 70.
plus the 70, and then give us a
That's
balance.
gonna be about 300,000 we'd still have to spend for capital.
Okay, so then we could possibly do some of the paving and some of the extra work that needs to be done. And that's all dependent on whether the voters vote for that $150,000.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, Bob?
Could I ask,
Sure,
Denise,
please.
that money is been taken out of the reserves and is just uselessly sitting there, not being used to increase the interest.
Correct.
So I mean, we need to do something with it. If the taxpayers don't want to, I can't believe the taxpayers would.
I can't either.
But if they didn't.
It needs to go back to the reserve.
Okay, right, yeah.
It needs to do one of two things. We either need to return it back to the reserve, or if the townspeople vote to let it be used to reduce their taxes.
Okay, my real question there was, this money is not in any calculation of getting interest from the reserves or what?
It is not. It's sitting in the general fund checking account.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of Bernice on the capital? Now, the other thing that a couple of weeks ago, Cindy Collmore came along and started talking about some recognition of Earth Day, and she came up with what she described as the first annual Wiscasset Community Roadside Trash Pickup Day on Saturday, April 27th, which is the week after Easter, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 12 noon. I printed out a few of these. I'll give one each to the press, and I'll circulate one that way, and circulate one that way. And it's a good idea. She's put her contact information at the bottom, Cindy Collmore at ccollmore@kpc@gmail. And I'll give this to the press. Okay, and I'll be meeting with her. In fact, I forgot last Thursday's meeting. I'll be meeting with her on Thursday with Kathy. Right? Did you get Kathy? Did you get?
I think it's written in my book. It is, and I will write it.
So it's this Thursday at 8 o'clock. Okay. All right. Now the last three items on the agenda are all executive sessions. I would ask the board if they would address 13B, an executive session to discuss the acquisition of real property. That's protected under one MRSA section 4056C. We have an attorney, as one of our advisors is already present, and if the board is willing to go into executive session, we'll have to, after the vote, have to move into a different room.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it for the purpose of discussion. I have a real problem with going into executive session to discuss eminent domain. I have a couple questions I might like to ask the lawyer, but I'd ask them on the public.
I don't believe it's about domain.
Acquisition of real property?
That's the category, the best fit that they have, and I think our attorney could explain that.
From what I understand, there is no eminent domain because there has been an agreement made through the two parties, and I think this is what is an update of that agreement. There's no eminent domain. We did not go into that type of contract with them. To take anybody's property, if I'm not mistaken, by eminent domain, we'd have to have the townspeople's permission. We'd have to take it to the vote of the town.
Okay, we did sign an agreement last September.
That is correct, and this is an update as to where that agreement stands at this point.
Everything was not signed,
Everything has not been,
and a lot of time has passed, and there are some.
but there is no eminent domain.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better, but then again, why can't we talk about it in public?
Because
I mean, we signed the agreement in public, why can't we discuss the
we signed the agreement in public, and the other party has not signed it, and we're up against a deadline. And with the new information coming forward and its implications, that's why I asked the attorney from Stantec to come here and explain what the options are, because some changes unexpectedly have come up.
I still don't see why we can't discuss it in public. Maybe there's a compelling reason that I just don't know, but I don't know why we couldn't.
Well, if we were to discuss it in public, we should have both parties there. And we also have to have time to develop whether the town's position is going to be going forward. And it is an awkward situation, because we're up against a deadline.
I don't think it would hurt us at this point, just to hear what the attorney has to say, to update us on where we are at this point. And there's going to be no decision made, so it's just for information purposes. And then if we choose to make it public, we can, I guess. But I think at that point in time, any conversation with our attorney should be done in executive session. Yeah.
I agree, and I think all of the circumstances that have developed from what John has told us, then I think we should go into executive session and hear what the attorney has to say, and we all have to go from there. And the fact that the other side hasn't signed the agreement, yet we have signed it, we can't do it in public because the other side isn't here. So we have to do it this way, I think.
Well, no, I just don't buy that. I'm sorry. I mean, because if we signed an agreement with the money and everything in it, and fine. I voted against that motion because I'm not really overly thrilled with the process in the first place. I just don't feel comfortable doing it.
Bob?
I was just gonna say, I feel a little uncomfortable about this too. I don't have a problem being updated by our attorney, but I don't think this is an agreement if only one party signed it. It doesn't sound like an agreement to me. It sounds like something that one party signed. And I don't want to go into executive session to discuss taking anybody's property. I don't want that to be part of the
That's
discussion.
not what we're discussing.
All right, I just want to make it really clear that I don't want to do that.
There is no eminent domain process involved, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? Thank you. There's no eminent domain. There's been an agreement with easements attached, and all the attorney is going to do is update us as a board regarding what is happening. That's all it is.
I don't mind being updated. I'll live with that.
Well, I made the motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
Ben, second.
Or Ben seconded it.
I'm not with it.
Oh, yes, under protest.
No, no. I said I seconded it because I wanted to debate the motion.
Okay. All those in favor of going into executive session? Those opposed? We are now in executive session. Would you please leave the room? Thank you.
Okay,